got everything? Phone, wallet, passport?
Yeah. I think I got everything.
You know she finna start crying, right?
Be quiet, Aubrey. Listen, sweetie, make sure you call us when you get there. You know I'm gonna worry about you.
All right. Yeah, I will. My flight gets in around 8:30, but I got to get some Wi-Fi first. But when I get some Wi-Fi, I'll let y'all know.
All right, man. Well, you know what to do. Handle your business.
As always, we're real proud of you, baby boy.
All right. Appreciate it. Love y'all.
Love you too.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Life Across the Waters. I'm the host, Kendrick Perry, aka Mr. Certified in Person. Before we get started, I want to thank Tessera Octo for opening their doors and allowing us to do this. Today's a special episode, man. I know this is one you guys, the fans, have been waiting for a couple years now. This guy's a busy man, so it's hard to get a hold of him sometimes. He had to leave Malaga to come back in order for us to do this, but timing is everything, and I'm glad that he's here to greet us with his presence. I'm gonna read off some of his accolades real quick before I introduce him. Let's see, he's an ACB champ, a Super Copa champ, Copa del Rey champ, Euro Cup champ, Euro Cup Finals MVP, Basketball Champions League champ. He's a citizen of the country Georgia. I had to fuck with you on that one. My boy, Will Thomas, man. Appreciate you pulling up, dog.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah. This was one in the works for a while, bro. So I'm glad we finally was able to take the time. Before we kind of get into your whole 16-year journey as a pro, you're from Baltimore, born and raised.
Yeah, born and raised.
Born and raised. Kind of talk about what the hoop culture is like in Baltimore. I like to start off every episode with giving my guests the opportunity to show or to explain what the basketball culture is like in the cities that they're from. Especially me being from Florida, I might not have known too much about Baltimore growing up. So, tell the people what the hoop culture was like for you growing up.
You got to be tough. You got to be mentally tough, physically tough. It's very competitive through AAU, high school. We have a lot of pros, NBA players and overseas, guys that want to get to the top, try to get their families and friends also out of different situations that's going on in Baltimore.
Okay, yeah. But I'm tripping, bro. We ain't even cheers the right way, man. We got a good, sipping on some good red, you know what I'm saying? Talking a little bit about your college career at George Mason. As a sophomore, you helped them reach the Final Four. You got all conference first team, all defensive team 3 straight seasons, which I thought was pretty funny because because in all the practices you couldn't really guard me in Malaga. You know what I'm saying? So.
Whatever. my youth went away from me in them years. But I told you I was former first team.
Yeah,
heard you.
That's
not a lie.
I Googled that. I was like, wait a minute. Something's got to be wrong. Senior year, runner-up for Conference Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah. 8th all-time in points, 3rd in rebounds, most games played. To touch on, first of all, before we talk about your overall career at George Mason, kind of talk about what that year was like when you reached the Final Four. Because for those that don't know, George Mason is considered a mid-major. Right. And to go on a run like that in probably the biggest stage of all college sports is something special.
Yeah, it is. We were the first mid-major to do it, 11th seed. Just going off that season, the season before, we didn't really have a good season. We finished in the middle of the pack of the conference. We didn't have any seniors, so that senior leadership that we needed for that season, we didn't have. And everybody was learning their new roles. Like our juniors were considered our seniors, and they were trying to learn how to be leaders and learn how to get wins and even bring the freshmen, which that was me and a few of my other classmates, trying to bring us along so we can help the team win. Then going into my sophomore year, that year we went to the Final Four. Our coach was just tough on us from after that spring break the year before. We were in the weight room at 5:45 in the morning, lifting weights, no music, no talking, no laughing. Just be serious about your craft.
All business.
All business. Be serious about your craft. Lift for 40 minutes hard. Do a little bit of cardio. Then go to class, and we may have a few workouts in the afternoon, but that was it. And then the mentality of the team changed. It really helped us. I think the coach, he needed to be more tough on us, make us tougher mentally and physically. And going into that season, we had a lot of confidence because everybody was in the weight room the entire summer getting stronger, more fit. We had a year together, so we didn't lose any players for that upcoming season because we didn't have no seniors. And then we took off. We started off a little slow, but as the season went on, we changed what we wanted to do and within the games, like play inside out, and we played tough defense, and we just rolled that all the way to the Final Four.
Who are some of those teams that y'all beat on the way to the Final Four?
First round was Michigan State. Second round was North Carolina. Sweet 16 was Wichita State. And then the Elite Eight was UConn. And we lost to Florida in the Final Four.
Was that the Florida team with
With
Corey Brewer and those guys?
Yeah, Corey
Joakim
Brewer,
Noah, Al
Joakim
Horford.
Noah. Yeah.
So it pretty much ended up losing to the champs. Was that the first year they won or the second year?
That was the first year they won.
Yeah. So I mean, all in all.
Yeah, we lost to the champs.
Yeah.
Back-to-back champs that day.
Yeah. I mean, I know it hurt at the time, but I guess it hurt a little less knowing that they ended up being not just champs that year, but the following year.
I mean, I think we all were upset, but it was like, okay, they were a really good team,
Right.
and they proved it 2 years in a row. So,
Right.
what could we do about it?
What were kind of some of the lessons you took from your time at George Mason? Because obviously we talked a little bit and we'll get to the more recent years a little bit later. But now you're still pretty much involved with the school and everything. What was your time at George Mason like, and what did it mean to you?
Oh, it was a fun time. I think the Final Four was the highest point because we had that. Really no, except for like in Washington, D.C., where it's the Wizards and the Commanders and the Nationals, there's no professional teams really in that area. So when we went to the Final Four, everybody in Fairfax, Virginia, they were behind us. Even other people from like D.C. and Maryland, they were behind us and wanted to see us succeed.
Yeah.
So it was a great 3 weeks that time during the NCAA tournament. My other 3 years, it was just fun. You stay on campus, you get used to life in Fairfax because it was different for me coming from Baltimore because Baltimore it's Baltimore. That's all I can say about it. But it's completely different in Fairfax. And once I got adjusted, it was a good time.
Yeah, and I would think that with a mid-major like y'all having so much success. That's kind of like one of those things. Like I'm sure when you go back now, you still get love for it.
Yeah, especially people that were either worked at the school or went to school there at that time. They always remember what we did when we went to the Final Four and the atmosphere around the campus.
Okay, so starting to get into your pro career. Your first year out, you signed with Malaga in Liège, in Belgium, but then ended up moving to Ostende. What was, before we kind of talk a little bit about your time in Belgium, what was the initial culture shock for you? Like, you get on a phone call with your agent at the time and, you sign that first contract and now you're on that first long flight over. What was kind of going through your mind as a young man kind of starting your pro journey?
I think when you first get on the flight or when you're about to leave, first thing you think is anybody going to speak English when I get there?
Right.
Because back then, it seems like it's not that long ago, but it's long ago. I didn't have no cell phone. I had a cell phone in America, but
Yeah.
nothing worked in Europe.
I got you. Yeah.
So I couldn't call anybody. I couldn't call my agent. Couldn't call my mother. Anybody.
right.
When I get there, I just have to hope that it's a professional team and they have somebody
Have someone there. Yeah.
to pick me up, to help me figure this out, because it's a lot of teams out there that you get to the airport and ain't nobody there.
Oh, I've been there. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. I've been there.
It's a weird feeling. And then in Belgium, on the south side, they only speak French, and then the north side they speak Dutch, English, and French.
Okay.
So I'm going to the French side. I'm like, I don't know any French. I know oui oui and bonjour. That's about the only French I know. But I mean that was kind of scary at first. And then once I got there, a couple of my other teammates were there. They're American too, so they already played a few years overseas. So it was kind of easy. I just went with them, and they kind of showed me the ropes.
Okay. It's funny because I'm sure a lot of people that have come in contact with you over your career have said that had said the same about you. Like you've shown them the ropes. So you looking back on your career and mentioning guys being able to show you the ropes and being able to transition, I guess, a little easier.
Yeah,
I think it makes a big difference for sure.
Yeah, because I remember when I first came over, I didn't know how to cook. I wasn't sure if they had barbershops over here. I didn't know how to drive a stick, and to help me through that transition, my one teammate, he was like in his 10th year, I think.
Okay.
He taught me and my other teammate, because it was his first year overseas too. He taught us how to drop sticks. I figured out the haircuts. I was on the phone with my mother every day trying to figure out how to make broccoli, make chicken. I'm like, I know what it looked like, the final product,
right.
But
I don't know how to get to
the process. I was just on the phone with my mother every night trying to figure it out.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that phone bill was high.
No, I was using Skype.
I
told you, you remember
computer.
Skype?
Yeah.
I call her, I'd be like, hey, call me right back, so
right,
it'll be free.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it went.
Okay, so, but on the court, it seemed like it was pretty much, basketball is basketball no matter where you go. And you ended up winning the league MVP in 2010. Kind of talk about what that season kind of was like for you in terms of on the court.
Well, I'll take it back to right before I decided to resign with the team. My agent at the time, he was like, what really helps players really thrive in the European market or with a European team is to stay with a team more than 1 year in a row, because you get comfortable, you learn the system, you get familiar with everybody, the coaching staff, the front office and things like that. And that summer, I had an offer from a team in the Netherlands that was worth more money, but in the end, I decided to go back to Liège, and I felt comfortable. I was like, oh, okay, I know where I'm going. I know the city. I know the gym. I know the fans. We changed the coach, but I was like, I'm okay with that. That happens all the time.
Right.
And then just going into that season, the coach didn't really say I was going to be the focal point of the offense or the team, or they was going to build the team around me. It was just something that happened. I came in shape. I was ready to play. He was the coach of another team in the league, the assistant coach, and he already seen me play. He knew enough about me that it was going to be an easy transition. And then I just went out there and played like the first few games. I was playing at a high level, and I carried it through the season and was able to get MVP.
Yeah, so that was what, your second year out?
Yeah, that was my second year out.
Yeah, so it always kind of, I would assume that it always kind of helps like winning those type of awards early, because it kind of shows the I guess kind of the work that you put in. And with a lot of guys, they'll get to that third, fourth, fifth year overseas and they kind of look back and it's like, well, I don't really got nothing to show for it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm not having a particularly great season individually, and the team isn't doing well. So now it just feel like I'm kind of over here, not wasting my time per se, but like, so you know how it is, bro. A lot of shit going on. You away from family, you in a situation where, maybe the bread might not be on time, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. But it kind of seemed that it worked out for you.
Yeah, just going off that, like, being able to have a great season and the team we finished first in Belgium and made it all the way to the final, but we lost to, like, I think Charleroi. They won like 6 in a row up to that point, so we lost to them. But just to play at an MVP level and the team is winning, it shows a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Moving forward a little bit, you signed with Armia. Is that correct?
Armia.
For the 2011-2012 season, and that's all the way in Georgia.
Yeah.
So we talking about Eastern Europe.
Yes.
For those that don't know, there is a country in Europe named Georgia. We're not talking about the state. It's called the Republic of Georgia. You led the team to win the Georgian Cup, and throughout the process you gained the Georgian citizenship.
Yeah.
Kind of talk to the people about what that process was like.
I think it was more simple than a lot of players. That summer after I was in Belgium my third year with Ostende, I was waiting for another job. I was trying to move out of Belgium because I felt like I outplayed that market. And I was just waiting, and I guess the offer never came because I never heard any offers from my agent, but I went that entire summer without an offer. I had to fire my agent and hire a new agent like in the middle of the summer. And by the time I got the new agent, all these Georgian teams started popping up wanting to sign me. And then that team came to me and said they'll give me the passport. The money wasn't great, but I was like, I'm single, no kids, I don't really have any bills, so I'll take the pay cut to get the passport. And then I know from there my career could take off.
Yeah. So kind of touch on what the benefits of having a European passport now, because nowadays there's a real discourse about these countries signing Americans as naturalized players. Some countries are for it. And let's be real, some smaller countries like a Georgia, like a Montenegro, you know what I'm saying, they are all for it. Whereas certain bigger countries where they already have the local talent might not see how that can be beneficial. So what do you think are, as for, I guess, kind of both sides, for the team and as an individual, what do you think some of the benefits are of having a European passport as an American?
Well, just playing over here, just playing in the different leagues that have the rules with the European passport, like Spain, France. When I first got it, it was Italy was in there. I think Turkey was in there. Like all the countries that I've played in, they had that the rule about the European passports. So, I mean, it's beneficial. If you get it from the correct country, you can really make a lot of money and have a successful career.
All right. And if you get it from the right country, you'll still have the citizenship, but not have to report to any national team duties. So you still get your breaks and you still get your summers and everything.
Right.
So, but I mean, those are special cases. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit. You signed with Karşıyaka in Turkey the following year from Georgia, and if I'm not mistaken, you said you led that team to the finals as well.
Yeah, the Euro Challenge final.
The Euro Challenge finals. Okay.
Yeah, the Euro Challenge.
So this is still pretty early in your career, but I'm noticing the pattern of teams you go to.
When
they, you know what I'm saying, they pretty damn successful. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, and I think that that's something within itself. But that following year, you go to Avellino in Italy, and we talk a lot off camera, obviously. But that was the time you mentioned. That was when you mentioned to me that was the first time that you hadn't got paid on time.
Right.
And there are a million horror stories about players not being paid or being paid late. What was kind of going through your mind during that time where, up until this point, it seemed like every situation, for better or for worse, at least financially, things were going pretty well.
Yes.
Whether the money was high or whatever, it was on time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it was on time. At the bare minimum, it was on time.
Right.
Here in Italy, that's not the case. So now, kind of, what's going through your mind about the whole experience, I guess.
I mean, to start off, that summer, my first son was born, and he was a preemie. So he was supposed to be born October 10th, I believe, and he was born July 16th.
Oh wow!
So he was in the ICU. He was in the incubator and all that. And then I was like, I'm stressing out about that.
Right.
I'm still worried about what next job I'm gonna have. But my agent, he was working for me. Obviously I went to Avellino, but I also had an offer from the second division of Turkey, Darüşşafaka.
Darüşşafaka was second division.
Second division, but they were spinning the bread so they can win and move up.
Move up, yeah.
And my agent at the time, he was like, you can either go to Italy first division or you can go to Turkey second division. And if you go to Turkey, it's not going to look that great on your resume because they're like, all right, you just went there for the money.
Right.
Not to really compete and try to be one of the best players. And he was like, in Italy, this team, your money gonna be late.
Yeah.
He told me off back. He told me straight up, like, your money gonna be late, maybe a month late, but you're gonna get all your money. And I was like, I'm sitting there like, damn, I need to go ahead and get back overseas because I know my son gonna need this money. He gonna need different care because he's a preemie.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to Italy, and just from the start, it was very unprofessional from the club standpoint. And then when the payments was supposed to come, they didn't come, and it was a month late. Then they'll pay, and then a month late, and they'll pay, and then guys started getting mad. We weren't playing as a team. We weren't winning. Guys kind of got into themselves and worrying about their stats, and it got bad by the end of the season where a couple of guys, they were going to end up, they just sat out because they wasn't getting paid on time, and then they had to bring in a whole new group of players, and it was just a bad situation altogether.
Towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Man,
And
that's
then,
interesting.
yeah, that's the way that happened. But by, I think it was September of the following season, they paid all the money.
Okay.
So
you did eventually get
So my
everything.
agent was right. You do get all your money, but it ain't gonna be on time.
Yeah. And it's always such a weird
I can-
situation, bro. Because like, how do you get all of my money while I'm with this team already starting our next season, but now I'm getting what y'all owed me the past 3, 4, however many months?
Right. Yeah. It was difficult. It was. I think. I want to say it. Yeah. I was an alcoholic that entire season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to go to. It was like a Carrefour out there. I used to go there and buy like a bottle of Remy Martin every few days.
Yeah.
Right after practice, size of this cup, I fill it up to the top and just drink it.
Yeah.
No food in my system or anything right after practice.
Yeah.
I was stressing like that.
I mean, I was gonna say, man,
I
it's
was stressing,
you
man.
know, but that's the side of this game that people need to
Yeah.
hear. You know what I mean? Because like we could sit up here and paint this picture like, yeah, it's all roses, and every team you play for, you're gonna get to the finals. You know, but like, it's not always the case. I've been in situations like that. You've been in situations like that where like people really need to hear these stories and see how they resonate. But you know, hard times don't last. You know?
Right. Yeah, they
and
definitely don't.
The next year, you signed with Unicaja.
Yeah.
Found your first year in Spain, here in Malaga. And this was your first time playing in the EuroLeague. You originally signed for 1 year in 14-15 and then re-upped with them, correct? For 15-16?
Oh, 1+1. It was a whole contract.
Like a mutual, yeah.
Yeah, they just
Okay.
had to say, yeah, we want to bring you back.
Right.
And whatever.
So that was your first experience with EuroLeague. Talk about kind of what that was like in terms of was there a real difference in terms of competition that you saw from the previous levels that you played?
Yeah, the physicality, the preparation, the level of talent and skill in EuroLeague and ACB, because ACB, when I came out here, it was like Porzingis and Luka. Sadaransky was still young. All those dudes. It was a lot of dudes out here that end up eventually going to the NBA, and now they like stars in the NBA and
Right.
stuff. So I seen that difference right away, and it was the same in EuroLeague.
Yeah. Yeah. Who are some of those top dogs that you remember in EuroLeague?
I didnn get to see every team because it was the old format with the group play, so we didn't.
What was
play.
it, 2 groups?
No, it was what was it? 4 groups of 6. That was the regular season.
Okay.
And then you play 10 games, and then the top 4 would go to the top
Straight
6.
to the Final Four?
No, top 4 teams from each group.
From each group.
Would
Okay.
go to the top 16, and then you would probably play the same teams again.
Right.
Yeah, so we played Maccabi, Cheska, Berlin. I remember they was in our first group. Limoges.
Limoges was EuroLeague.
Yeah, and then like in top 16, I think it was the second year, Darusshafaka was in EuroLeague. We played them, Efes, and Fenerbahce all in top 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So
we
you
went to
spent
Istanbul.
I was about to say, spent a lot of time in
Istanbul.
Istanbul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that level was just different. The athleticism, the skill, the preparation from each team. Everybody plays a different style. And then coming back to the ACB, you're playing Barcelona, Baskonia, Madrid, you got Valencia. They competing at the top of Euro Cup. It was very competitive.
Yeah, and we'll get to Valencia in a minute, but before we get to that, kind of talk about what were your first impressions of Spain just in general? Malaga, of course, but Spain and the kind of the ACB in general.
I guess people always talked about it being top level, but after a few months, when you get to see the teams, you be like, wow, the teams that aren't considered that good, they still have a lot of talent. They just haven't come together yet.
Right.
So like you always have to be prepared, always be ready to play your best, or you will get beat.
Right.
Home or away, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Just seeing the different players, like young players, they were talking about, oh, this guy might be going to the NBA next year, and they only playing 5 minutes, and you be like,
how's that work?
Yeah,
Right.
how's that work?
Yeah.
And then, sure enough, they get picked top in the draft, and they go on to have good NBA careers, or come back over here and they top players in Europe.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting because kind of like you said about, each team you got to be ready to play. I don't think that really registered with me until, those first couple games in Malaga when I came here. Because, I've played in a lot of leagues where it's like it's top heavy,
Right.
you got 4 or 5 that might shoot for the crown, and then the rest is just like, if we show up to the game, we're going to win. You know what I'm saying? Where here, that might not always be the case. And we've seen that, throughout our years playing together, about this current year, so I think that's pretty interesting. But moving on, after your couple years in Malaga, you moved over to Valencia, and someone looking at your resume, I guess they could say that was probably the year where it kind of seemed like it all clicked for you, in terms of, let's run down the accolades. You won the league, you won the Super Cup, both in your first year.
No, the league championship was my first year. Super Cup was my second year, and Euro Cup.
And Euro Cup was the third year.
Yeah.
And that third year, you also were named the Euro Cup Finals MVP.
Yeah.
So, 3 years in Valencia, 3 trophies. That ain't too fucking bad.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That ain't too bad.
It's not.
They fuck around need to be building a statue of you out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had a few conversations with some guys that I played with.
Yeah. What do you remember most from those years in Valencia? Because like I said, a lot of success through those years. I'm sure you had a lot of great memories, a lot of fun times. What are some of those best moments when you think about Valencia?
Being able to win the championships, but also learning it. Because up until that point, I didn't win any championships except for in Georgia. But just my first year, I was more playing like spot minutes for Luke Sigma. He was on the team with me in Valencia when we won the Spanish league. And that's when I had to really become a really great teammate. I mean, I was already a good teammate and doing things like that, but seeing that I had to just really play a role.
Right.
In whether I'm playing great or not, I'm gonna play these few minutes,
Right.
and I have to do what I have to do my job, and that's what it's about. And that year we went to 3 finals. We went to Copa del Rey final, lost to Madrid. We went to Euro Cup final and lost to Malaga, and then we finally brung it all together and won the Spanish league.
That's tough. All in that first year.
All in that first year.
That's tough. And it's funny because now that I have a couple years of experience in Spain, when people ask me about playing in Spain, they kind of ask me, like, what's the biggest, I guess, difference? And for me, it's kind of what you said, like, you kind of have to learn to play in a role. And it's whether you playing good or bad. If you start the game, you're going to play them first 6 minutes and you're coming out. That's why I tell guys, like, when I start, like, it doesn't matter if I have 0 points in them 6 minutes or 10, 12 points in them 6 minutes. I'm going to come out just because that's the rotation.
Right.
And for a lot of guys, I think that's where the disconnect happens because, before I got to Spain, it was
35 minutes.
You know what I mean? It was at least 30 minutes a game,
Right.
So I had to kind of make that adjustment and make that shift, which, some guys can't do. I'm not going to say a lot of guys can't do, but some guys have a hard time doing that.
Right.
But when you do it and it all comes together, you get Copa del Rey finals, Super Cup finals,
right.
Euro Cup finals, finals MVP,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I think that's kind of a big thing about the ACB in Spain that people might not realize.
Yeah, going back to when I came to Malaga, I think my mindset was, if I average 8 and 5 on this team, because we had 12 players, if I average 8 and 5, that's a great season.
Yeah.
And we win.
Yeah.
That's a great season.
Sure.
But if you ask any American over in other countries, 8 and 5, you'd be like, man, you might be looking for a job at home.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
But in Spain, if you can do that, you're gonna be around for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll touch on the mindset coming back to Malaga in a minute. But moving a little forward, I would be remiss if I didn't touch on your times in Russia with Zenit and with Monaco in France. Before we get to Monaco, what was life kind of like in Russia? Because again, Russia is one of those countries, especially now in terms of the climate, the political climate,
Right.
whatever. You hear Russia and it's like, oh, stay away from
Political.
there. You know what I
it's all
mean? Like,
political.
I don't know. You think it's gonna be safe for you out there, and you hear all these whispers about that. And I tell people all the time, I really enjoyed my time in Russia,
Me too.
regardless of, kind of what the outside perspective was. So what was it like for you playing?
It was
in
the same for me. I enjoyed it. I had that same perspective going in, like people like the political views of it, and I was like, oh man, I'm going, but I'm not. I'm gonna try to stay safe and like stay out of the way.
Yeah.
But once I got there, it was like, yeah, this is a great spot to be in. St. Petersburg is probably one of the best cities in Europe.
Yeah.
I would say. Like right under the big cities like Barcelona, Istanbul, and Moscow, and places like that. But St. Petersburg is right up there with them. Also, I went there. COVID happened midway through my first season there, so it kind of threw everything off at the end of that season. But the season wasn't going so well for us, so it was better we ended that and just move on from that whole situation. And then going back my second year, again, it was COVID. the rest of the world was scared, Russia wasn't.
Yeah.
And I went out there, and they were just, it was normal. It like, because you get there in August, it's still, you can say it's warm, but it's not really that warm. And I mean, in the center of St. Petersburg is 2 million people outside, and they standing shoulder to shoulder. And it's COVID, and it's like, all right, this is just how it is in Russia.
Yeah.
But they, like, officials from the team was like, yeah, it's kind of stay out of public.
Yeah.
Like, just stay at home, go to the grocery store when you need to, come to practice, make sure everybody don't get COVID, because one person get it.
Whole team get it.
Whole team
yeah,
get it.
It's a whole thing.
And then we got missed games,
rescheduled.
Reschedule.
Yeah, it was.
Stuff.
Yeah, that year was, in terms of like all that stuff. That year was ridiculous.
Yeah,
man.
getting tested almost every day.
Yeah.
It was too much.
So then the following year, you originally signed with Unik Kazan in Russia, but you moved to Monaco fairly quickly before the season started. And that was where we got to share the court for the first time as opponents. When I was with Panathinaikos, and y'all damn near ruined my EuroLeague career.
I don't know how we dusted y'all, but that's just how that went.
Yeah, but kind of talk about what that season was like, because I mean y'all had some pieces, man, and in that Monaco team, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we had pieces. I think we just didn't bring it all together. Guys were kind of separate, dysfunctional, because we had older guys like myself, Mike James, Demo, Monty Eunice. Who else was? Leo.
P. Lee was on that team.
Yeah, P. Lee,
younger guys.
But P. Lee was like Bacon and Dante Hall. They were the younger guys in Alpha. They were all younger guys trying to prove themselves at that level, and really show that they can play in Europe, EuroLeague. And it was somewhat of a disconnect because we had one coach. He was very laid back, and it didn't suit that team well. And they ended up firing him and bringing in Obradovic. He's more of a strong personality, can kind of bring guys together, but it was still dysfunction.
Yeah.
And we made it all the way to the French League final, but if we would have came together the right way, we could have did some great things.
And then in that French League final, y'all ended up losing to Dylan, right? As well, when he was at Aswell.
Yeah. Dylan was there.
So to tie everything in together, so now the next year, you signed to Malaga, you returned back to Malaga, and I don't know if it was like this for you. And of course, you've been around Europe more than I have, but I remember I was one of the first. I think I might have been the first signing in terms of that new group that Iban and Wama were trying to put together. But while the summer was going on, I'm just seeing signings. Okay, signed Tyson Carter. Oh yeah, I played against him when he was in Greece. Signed Dylan. Oh yeah, I kind of remember him when he was at Asvel. Signed Will Thomas. I just saw him in Monaco. Was it kind of like that for you? Like, what was kind of going through your mind when you signed to come back and you're starting to see the other signings that Unikaha was making?
I think I was one of the last signings. I think Tyson is the only one that
I was going to say, if I remember correctly, I know for sure Tyson was the last one.
Yeah, I just seen all the players they were signing, and I was like, okay, they're going to have a full roster, like 12 players. So all I have to do is play a role. And leading up to, because I started talking to them like during the French League playoffs. And Wama and Ivan, they was just like, they want to start this project trying to bring the club back, bring the city back around the club, and get back to winning ways. And they're looking for former players of the team to help that make it go that way. And me, Melvin, they was gonna keep Alberto, who's been here however many years. Anybody else return that was on the former teams?
I think that might have been it. I mean, Dario.
Yeah, Dario and Johnny, and besides them, and Goose, because Goose was here all
when he was younger.
Yeah,
right?
when he was younger, and At first I was hesitant. I was like, I want to see if there's any more EuroLeague offers out there because I feel like I still play at that level. And then my agent kind of advised me, it was like, yeah, this is a great opportunity. You can go there, be a part of a good team. You already know what Malaga is about, so it's not a big adjustment for you.
Yeah.
And then, like, I made up my mind. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go back there. This will probably be the end for me, so I want to enjoy this.
Yeah.
That's probably why I was on this type of energy the last 2 years, because I gotta enjoy this. This is the last run for me.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I got to do it with y'all. Y'all a great group of guys.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember, and we talked about this off camera, but I just remember, I remember 2 signings specifically when I saw that we signed you and Jetto. And I'm like, damn, they got a lot of EuroLeague experience. And I was kind of nervous how it was going to go, just in the simple fact, like I didn't know if y'all were going to come in. Like, obviously, I didn't know how y'all were as people and as teammates. So I didn't know if y'all were going to come in with that kind of chip on your shoulder, like, I belong in EuroLeague and I'm playing on this Champions League team. I'm about to just come in here and, this is going to be my team type thing. And it's funny because when you really think about it, and the only people that really know this are the people that have been in the locker room these however many years. Y'all two have damn near sacrificed the most in terms. I'll probably say y'all two and Mel have probably sacrificed the most in terms of like just buying into the role of what Iban has asked for y'all these last couple years. And for me being, I think my first year here was my 9th year. So now I'm getting into that hump where I'm being the vet and like the OG or whatever.
Right.
Now I'm like, it's one of those things where like seeing how y'all so easily adapted to that role in terms of just being what the team needs y'all to be and putting whatever individual mindset or ego things y'all had to the side for the betterment of the team, I think is something super special and something that like I might not have wanted to carry with me until I saw it in person.
Right.
So, I got to tip my hat to you guys every chance I get because, that has led to what I'm about to get into next, us winning the Copa del Rey for our first year together.
Right.
We obviously we won other championships, but that one specifically, when you think about the route that we took, beating Barcelona, beating Madrid, then, beating a very tough Tenerife team. And I remember, was that the Barca game where we ran 54 fucking to the dirt? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but it was just like, we just couldn't, they couldn't stop it. You know what I mean? What was kind of that moment like for you? Because, again, this was only the first game of 3, potentially.
Right.
But it was so pivotal for us because I feel like once we kind of beat Barca, it was like we playing with house money. And that was the most that's the most dangerous we play. When we play free and we don't got nothing to lose, that's when we're at our most dangerous. So for you, what was kind of that role like being in that moment?
Iban's told me he was bringing me here for that. Like those moments when you need that veteran presence. I know leading up to that, from the start of the season, I wasn't really playing that much.
Yeah.
I think I was somewhat out of shape at the beginning of the season, and I had to work my way through preseason and then the beginning of the season. Then I think we had that break for FIBA in November, and I decided to go back to the States for the few days. And Iban, he texted me. He actually texted me. He was like, "Yo, you ready to be that EuroLeague player we wanted to sign?" I was like, "Yeah." And then he started like slowly increasing my minutes from that point on. And then when we got to Copa del Rey, it was like, all right, this the moment where where we need you. And then we were playing well against Barca. Dario was just killing them.
Right.
And then after that, we scored on that 154, and he was like, all right, run it again. I was like, oh, this is easy. I'm like, I've done this before. This is where I thrive at.
Yeah.
And then we went on to beat them, and then Madrid, it was basically the same thing.
Yeah.
And then Tenerife, y'all took the Tyson.
Yeah.
Y'all did y'all thing, and I was like, got me a Copa del Rey.
Right. But it's like you said, bro. It's like the thing about this project that Ebon and Wama and the staff are putting together is just like it's literally 12 of us on the court, all that you have to account for at all times.
Right.
And like we always had a conversation. Like I would love to see how a team scouts us. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does the scouting report look like for Unicai? Because you can't leave anybody out. Like, let's be real. There are a lot of teams here. You might be able to leave 1 or 2 guys out or 3 guys. Like,
Right.
yeah, he might get in, but he'll play only 4 minutes. But with us, it's like, all right, you sleep on Johnny if you want to. He going to come out and have 11 in the first quarter.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Or,
yeah.
all right, you sleep on Jetto if you want to. He going to come out and in the third quarter hit 3 threes, boom, boom, boom. And now you look up and it's an 18-point lead. Like, it's on a team like that when you have so many different dynamics and, you look around and you're one of the older guys in the locker room. And I've always said to you, and I've seen from afar, like, your role is such that, like, there are different types of leaders, right? There are vocal leaders and then there are actions leaders. Those that know you know you're not the most vocal, but your routine is your routine. You damn near always going to be the first one in the gym. You damn near going to always be the first one to stretch, to ice, to do the game ready. Was that something that was just natural for you in terms of that leadership role, or was it something you kind of had to learn over time?
Leading by example, that's what I think I always did from all the way back in high school. The stuff with the preparation and the recovery, I learned that later in my career. But like just being a leader out there, I think it's easier to lead by example than to lead vocally. For me, it is, but for some people, it isn't. I don't know. I always just worked hard and just go out there and try to do my job.
Yeah.
I can't really explain where I learned it from. I think it's just a part of me.
So moving a little forward, the next year, which would ultimately be your last year playing, you left on a pretty good note.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I definitely did.
BCL champion. What kind of talk about what that last year was like for you? Did you going into the season? Because you know me, bro. I was in your ear damn near all year. Hey, bro, you know you got one more. You know you got one more.
A lot of people was telling me that I got 2-3 more years.
And I'm sure if you really wanted to, you could have. But was it something that, like, at the beginning of the season, you already knew, like, this was your last year? Or was it something, like, when did that, before we talking about the BCL championship, when did that moment hit for you, like, all right, this is this going to be my last year?
I would say this past summer. It was...
So the summer before going into the year?
No, the summer before, I actually did tell my kids it was going to be my last season, but I was like, I don't know.
Still debating?
Yeah. I felt good. I was in great shape. It was a great feeling around the team. We won Copa del Rey. I'm like, we were so close to winning the BCL the first year. I'm like, we got a chance to do some great things here. So I was like, I'm definitely coming back. And then, as the season went on, I was playing well. They kind of said they wanted to bring me back for another year. And I was like, okay, I'll think about it. I'm open to it. But in the end, my mind changed in the middle of the summer, and I was like, I'm gonna retire.
Yeah.
yeah, that's just what happened.
And was it more so you missing being home, or was it you want to go out damn near on top, or was it a combination of things?
I always want to be home, so that's a must.
Right.
I think it was just the situation around the team. It was out of my control, and then it was kind of taking too long. So I was like, okay, I already prepared for retirement.
Right.
So me retiring, it was kind of easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to a few people and got their opinion about it, but ultimately is always my decision.
Right.
And I decided to retire.
Yeah, and even talking with you these last couple of days, with you being in Malaga, you said like I don't miss basketball.
I got it out of my system.
Yeah, and I think that's a key thing when guys are talking about retiring, because like I know for a fact that's going to be a battle with me when ultimately I'd make that decision.
Right.
You know, it's like, because again, at the end of the season, especially after winning the championship, everything is all good. Like I can retire on top, but after a couple months, I might be like, damn, like I might have that competitive itch, you know, or just like this is something that I've been doing for so long.
Right.
I don't really know what the alternative looks like, but I'm glad you was able to find peace with it. Talk about the BCL run we had, bro.
Oh, we was coming. Yeah. That's all that was. We was coming. It was like we went through all that heartache with the BCL the year before, trying to learn each other, trying to figure out our system, our identity. And then that second season, after we lost in the Final Four in Malaga, it was like, oh, we coming next season.
Yeah.
We ready for this.
Yeah.
We want all the smoke.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know damn sure I did, for sure.
Yeah, I know. I mean, everybody was on a revenge tour. So, I mean, just going into the season, we was like, yeah, we getting back to the Final Four. That's our goal.
Yeah.
And not get to the Final Four, because our goal the year before was to get to the Final Four.
Right.
The last year,
season,
it was to win the Final Four,
yeah.
and we went out there and did it.
Yeah, and I think the goal was kind of the same for both years, but I think we were just being a little too, like, I don't want to say nice, but a little too passive the first year, because this was the first year the group has gotten together. So we were like, all right, if we just get to the Final Four, and then maybe we'll see what happens. And then when we saw it was in Malaga, it was like, oh shit, we really got a real chance. That next year, we was like, nah.
Yeah.
Not only are we getting to the Final Four, we gonna win that motherfucker if we step foot in wherever the Final Four is held.
Right.
So I think the mentality, like you said, the mentality going into that second year was just a little more, again, I don't want to use the word serious, but we were just a little more defined in what we wanted our goals to be. And I think we kind of showed that just kind of day in and day out. You know, we didn't look too far ahead, assuming that we would already get to the Final Four.
We knew we had to go out there and play at a high level.
Yeah, for sure. But, you know, moving away from the court, you know, this is your first year of the other side, a few months removed now. What would you say is the most difficult part of this transition?
Trying to find yourself outside of basketball, trying to find out who you are outside of basketball. I think that would help me find out what's next for me as far as generating money, income, things like that. But I think that's it, because financially I'm good. Like, I've been preparing for this for the last 3 years. So I'm good on that end. It's just the other part where I was so into basketball. I put everything into basketball that I didn't focus on anything else off the court. Now I'm trying to find that, and it's been difficult, but I guess I met so many great people on the way to this point that there's so many people that's trying to help me. Just
right.
like, yeah, just figure it out. Just you try this, and like, just be open to different things. Go around, show your face to different people. Somebody will come up to me and be like, hey, you ever want to try this or do this? I can help you get this. You know, it's just that. That's all it is.
Yeah. How does it feel being back in Malaga these last couple of days? First of all, wait, before you answer that, because, you know, you, like you said, you came out and was like, I'm taking pictures, signing autographs, kissing babies, all that. But while you were playing, that wasn't the case. Was there anything, why was that the case?
I don't know. I just didn't did it. I just didn't do it. It was my thing. People knew it. They still asked me, and I still didn't do it. And I was just like, I'm not going to do it. And it wasn't nothing personal against anybody.
Yeah.
It's just something I didn't do, and a lot of people respected it. I stayed the same no matter who you were.
For sure.
It was always the same. Don't take it personal.
Yeah.
It's just what I did.
Yeah. So now being back in Malaga, getting the love from the fans, from the crowd and everything. What's that been like these last couple of days for you?
It's been good, man. I enjoyed coming back. Just being around y'all guys for a few days, getting to talk to different people, getting to see the fans tonight. That was crazy. Having 10,000, 11,000 people just cheering your name. That was amazing. Just having that opportunity to come back here, I really feel like this is my second home.
Yeah.
Like if I come here, all I need is once the plane touched down, I know where I'm going.
Right.
I know where I'm going. I know where to stay. Know what restaurants, where to stay, where to go at during the daytime, nighttime.
Yeah.
Is whatever out here for me. I know people around the city. It's great here.
Yeah.
So these last 2.5 days been great.
Nah, dude, we were glad to have you back, bro. For sure.
Everybody was happy to see me, man.
Before we get into the quick hitters, I got a few just random questions of my own. Who are some of your favorite teammates that you played with throughout your career? I mean, other than me, but that goes without saying.
Besides you, let me take from different teams. Sam Van Rosen from Valencia.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys from Valencia, because I played with a bunch of them for 3 years.
Yeah.
All 3 years. My guy, Mike Green, he's from Philly, but I played with him my second year in Liège.
Okay.
He was a point guard. Mike James, one of my best teammates ever. The perception of him isn't so great out there, the public perception of him, but he's a really good dude, man. Yeah, I enjoyed my 1 year in Monaco with him. It was great. Who else? There's so many dudes.
Just give me one more.
One more? Yeah, I'm trying to think. John Diebler, Bobby Dixon. I played with them in Kashieka.
Okay.
Taquan Dean, Jeremy Richardson. I played with them in Avellino. I played with them in Jeremy Richardson in Georgia. Caleb Green. Played with him in Malaga and in Ostende. So, yeah, all those guys. Adrian Banks.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Avellino?
No, I played with him in Belgium.
Okay, I just figured because it seemed like he'd been in Italy all his
he been in Italy. He been
Yeah.
out there for a minute.
Yeah, he's tough though. I like watching him play.
Right.
Some of your harder matchups.
Professionally,
Yeah.
definitely Shangalia, Miricic. Who else? I'm trying to think. Justin Dolman. He played in Valencia and then went to Barca. He was a very tough matchup. Chris Singleton. James Gist, always.
Another DMV guy, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, just tough guys. Just know how to play. Athletic, strong.
Yeah.
Really. Dylan and Melvin in practice. Those dudes, like guys I had to practice against every day. It wasn't easy. Playing against Luke Sigma, playing against him and playing with him.
Right.
Yeah. Very tough.
Favorite city to go out in after a game?
Oh, wow. Barcelona.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Top of the top.
Top of the top.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying, bro, you've been a lot of places, my boy.
Barcelona. Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
All right. All right. So now I got my quick hitters that I usually do. So favorite country you visited so far? I feel like I know the answer to that one.
Spain.
Yeah. A bucket list country, somewhere you haven't been yet.
I want to go somewhere in Asia. I've never been to Asia.
Man, you should have came with us to the Philippines. That shit was
Man,
nice.
that shit
Not
Philippines.
Philippines, Singapore.
Singapore. Yeah.
That shit was nice. 3 artists on your current playlist.
Damn, you only got like 3 artists.
Name them. I know one of them's Future.
Future,
No one
Future
of
for
Future.
sure. I still listen to Gunna.
Okay.
And damn, who else I be looking? Who be else on the playlist? I'm trying to think of all the new albums. I haven't even downloaded that many albums. Only Mixtape Pluto. All right, I say Jay-Z. I mean, I still listen to Jay-Z.
Okay. Best advice living or playing overseas that you can give someone?
Embrace the culture.
Talk a little bit about that. No, it's just because, like, you know, and this is something I be having to talk with your boy, young Carter, about. You know what I mean? Like, right? You got, and obviously he's definitely gotten better since being out here in Malaga. But like, what I try to tell people is like, if you don't, it's gonna make that 9-10 months seem so much longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, every place is different. In Malaga, the culture, in Spain, the culture is easier to adjust to than other places. But it just makes the time go by so much faster, I feel like. But guys don't do it because it's out of their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just in embracing the culture. I was like that when I first got to Belgium because it was so much different from America with them. Like everything is like closing early, restaurants closing early, grocery stores. Nobody really spoke English. So I didn't want to communicate or interact with people. Then once I got adjusted, learned a few restaurants, a few things, that's when I started going out more, started, doing things with my teammates more. And I got comfortable. And then I started playing better. It helps you mentally and physically and help you feel good. That's what it's about. And if you feel good, you're going to play good.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all it's about.
Last one. Someone I need to have on the podcast.
Michael Jordan.
Can you help me get Michael Jordan? If you can help me get Michael Jordan,
Michael Jordan, man.
Damn it, I'm all for it.
Somebody you can get on the pod. Get somebody outside of sports, or I don't know.
Somebody outside of sports.
Yeah, I mean everybody got their own story. Like a successful business owner or a chef, chefs around the city and stuff. Because our journeys are similar.
Yeah.
At some point they were at the bottom.
Right.
And they had to work their way
face
up.
some adversity.
Yeah. Just to get their story and try to have other people relate to them too. Because I mean, there's a lot of basketball players that think they're chefs, like you,
like me.
Yeah,
like you. Like me.
And then I mean, they can piggyback off that.
And I'm sure it's a lot of chefs that think they're basketball players.
Right, and they should be watching this and say, "Oh, wow, I should try this," even though I'm 45 years old.
I like that though, bro. Hey.
Yeah, a lot of people around the city.
I was about to say, we might have to diversify life across the water, man. Might not just stick to basketball players.
I mean, if you could find an American that's over here, a chef, or just people that's out of their element. Yeah. And they're thriving in the element they're in.
Damn, you might have did something, bro. This might be footage of something. I don't know, 3-4 years from now, that might be something totally different. And we heard the first soundbite here with Will Thomas.
All right, cool.
I'm not giving you any royalties though.
I don't want it.
Okay, bet.
Just take it and run with it.
All right, bet. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here. I got it all on camera.
Plant a seed and let the flower grow, man.
I like that. Well, Brody, unfortunately, our time on camera has come to an end. Man, I could fucking go on and on about what you've done for me personally as a teammate. You know what I'm saying? As a companion, as a peer in this space. But I appreciate all the insight you've given me, bro. Everything that I've learned from you from afar, whether it's me asking you or just watching you. I'm so happy to see that you're enjoying your retirement in this next phase. I'm so glad that we was able to do this. I'm thankful for the people of Malaga to show you what you mean to them. You know what I mean?
Which I didn't know.
Because the you hold a special place in people's heart here, and I hope the fans don't take that for granted. But more importantly, I hope you know that. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just the fans; it's all those guys in the locker room, all those guys you just shared the court with tonight or earlier tonight. We really appreciate everything that you've shown us and you've taught us throughout these couple years together. So, one last toast, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Again, man, appreciate you pulling up, doing this. Another episode of Life Across the Waters in the books with my guy Will Thomas, my dog.
Come on, man.
We probably gonna go drink some tequila after this right now.
I hope so.
I'm not ready personally because I'm only supposed to be drinking wine, but whatever. Again, like, share, subscribe, everything on YouTube. And again, be on the lookout for the next episode. But until then, remember to stay certified in person. We'll see you guys next time.
Listen, I gotta live and I gotta do it like that. The haters fussing, but I gotta do what's right. You never know when the day you gotta go, so you gotta lift it up and get love in your soul, yeah. It's kinda common to be down, but don't stay like that. Yeah. You gotta know that there's only one of you. Wow. To yourself.